Hi everyone! In this video, we're going to talk about how to use SUM, SUMIF, and SUMIFS formula in Google Sheets to calculate travel costs. We have a table of travel expenses here. We have month, we have travel destinations, we have the type of travel, it is solo or family trip, and then we have days of travel in each trip, the total cost, and the cost per day of the trip. So let's get started. First, we'll talk about the SUM formula. We'll use the SUM formula to calculate the total cost of our trip, which is this column. So firstly, we type total cost. And for the formula, we'll type equal sum open blanket, and then we'll select the range to calculate. We are also adding the dollar signs to block the range. Then close blanket, press enter. Now we have the total cost calculate. And let's make it a little bit nicer. We put a grid, we bold the title, and we have the color. So this is the total cost of our trip. Let's move it to the row above. Next, we're going to talk about the SUMIF formula. So the SUMIF formula in Google Sheets allows you to sum values in a range based on specific conditions or criterion. So let's say we want to find out the total cost of family trip and solo trip separately. In here we type family and solo. And for the formula we use equal SUMIF open blanket, and first we choose the criteria range, which is the travel type here. We select the range and then comma, and then we put the criterion. In here is family, so we type family, and lastly is the range to calculate. Remember to put dollar signs to block the ranges and press enter. Now we have the total cost of family trip calculate, and next we calculate the solo trip. In here we type equal SUMIF open blanket, and then we choose the criteria range, which is this column, and then comma. This time is solo. And lastly, we choose the range to calculate. Also put the dollar signs to block the ranges and press enter. Let's copy and paste the format from above. Now we have the total cost of family trip and solo trip calculated separately. And in here we can make the formula more convenient. Since here we have the same wordings of the criterion and the criteria range, so in here the word family, we can actually choose the range I10, which is also the family. And in solo trip, we can also replace solo to the range I11. And just like this. And lastly, we will talk about the SUMIFS formula. The SUMIFS formula in Google Sheets allows you to sum values based on multiple conditions or criteria, which means more than one criteria. For example, we want to calculate the total cost of solo trip in July. So let's type solo. And then we want to calculate the cost in July. We type July. And then we type the formula equal SUMIFS open blanket. And firstly, we choose the sum range, which is the total cost. And then we choose the criteria range, which is the travel type from here to there. And for the criterion, we choose solo. And next, we choose the month range, which is here. And now we want to calculate July. We'll type July here. Or we can choose the cell which contains July here. Also put the dollar signs to block the ranges. And then press enter. Copy the format. Now we have the total cost of solo travel in July calculate. And actually, all formulas can be used multiple times in one single formula. For example, here we want to calculate the total cost of solo travel in July and August as well. So we type July plus August. And for the formula, we'll type equal SUMIFS, just the same as above. We choose total cost. We choose the travel type is solo travel. And then we choose the month range. We choose July for the first part. We type July and close bracket. For the second part of the formula, we type again SUMIFS. And then we select the range again. And then we choose the travel type, which is also solo travel. Then we choose the month range. And this time the month we want to calculate is August. So we type August and close bracket. Again, we put dollar signs to block the ranges and press enter. Now we have the total cost of solo travel in July and August calculate. So this is the basic of SUMIF and SUMIFS formula and how you can use them to calculate based on single criteria or multiple criterias. Like and subscribe and see you in the next tutorial.